Hi, this is David with Shur-Loc Fabrics, and I wanted to show you our new product, the Squeegee Clean. And basically when you get out of the box, it's going to look something like this. The handle's not going to be on here, but this is your handle. You also have an Allen wrench and some mounting screws. So the first thing you're going to do is put your washer right on top. Screw that in, and then instead of using a wrench, you're going to use the provided Allen wrench like we just talked about. So just tighten that baby up. Just snug it up on there. Then you've also got your mounting screws here. So what you're going to want to do is take a look at your end. You've got some large diameter holes and they taper back. You're going to want to mark the center of these large diameter holes on all 4 points. Take an 1/8 inch drill, drill it out, you'll be ready to go. Go ahead and put in your screws. We've already done that here to save some time. So I'm just going to center that right on top of the screws, and then you've got it in the correct position. Should slide right into those notches and it snugs it right up. Next, you can just take your drill, you can tighten those up. So I'll just run those down right there. It's kind of a weird angle, but it doesn't take much to hold it in place. I'll lock those up. Next thing I want to do is make sure that we always stress the fact of wearing safety glasses, safety first, you know. So put those things on. Don't want to have any splatters coming up and getting you in the eyes, depending on the chemicals that you're using. So I've already pre-mixed some chemicals over here. Stuff that we are using today is a Saudi IR4. I also use Easy Way products. Whatever you're using will probably work just fine, or you can get some from us when you purchase a box. And so this called for a 50-50 mix, so I've got 2 quarts of water, 2 quarts of the IR4. I'm just going to simply pour that in, and of course, you don't have to pre-mix it. You can just pour it right in, just like that. And we call for a 1 gallon total of liquid in there. And that's just approximate. You don't want to have too much. You just always want to make sure that those brushes are touching at the bottom, so it's constantly churning up fresh chemicals running through the brushes, constant cleaning motion on that. The other thing that is critical that we want to spell out is the rotation of the handle. The handle will come stock right on here on this side. It is reversible for left-handed users. You can switch it around whichever way you want. Comes right on here anyway. And when you're rotating this, whatever you do, make sure that the brushes are always going in that direction. So the stock direction would be clockwise, of course. That's going to pull all your splatter down inside the bottom of the box. So it'll prevent, if you rotate the opposite direction, you're going to get a lot of spray right up in your face, and you'll realize what not to do real quick. So hopefully that helps you guys out. The other thing, I've got a auto squeegee right here, real common. This is M&R style. You also have different ones. We'll show at the end of some of the different lid configurations that we have. Like I said, this is the M&R style. So I've got my auto lid holder that is an option. I'll just simply slip this on here like that. Go ahead and tighten up your handle. It's locked on into place like that. And remember the rotation. I'm just going to be going clockwise, since I'm using my right hand. And I'm just going to work this through. That was a real commonly gooped up squeegee there. And it's not a fast rotation, just a steady motion on there. And you get it out, and it just takes it right off. So this is that IR4, that's designed for the plastisol. That's the ink that I had on here today. But obviously, you're going to want to use whatever best for the type of inks that you're using, water-based or whatever you've got that's going to break it down the best for you. So basically a dry towel, wipe it off, simply slip it out, and you'll be ready for your next one. The other thing that we recommend is just dip it into a bucket of clean water. Gets off some of that cleaner, so you're not going to have any effects with your next production run with your ink. So set that aside. We also got a manual squeegee here too. Just wanted to show you some of the different ways that you can run this in. You can run things in vertically and just back it out just like that. You can run it in like this. Of course, you can flip it over, run it through upside down if you get ink way up on there. Spatulas, we just want you guys to get creative on whatever you're doing so that basically the possibilities are endless for different cleaning styles, and you certainly don't have to have the perfect lid configuration to be able to clean whatever you're trying to clean. So I'll set that baby down. Changing your chemicals is really easy as well. We've integrated some pour spouts on here, so basically I've already loosened up my screws here to be able to take it off, just like when we put it on there. So that's a quick, simple, you don't have to remove the screws entirely, just loosen them up enough so that you can slide it over. And a lot of people ask, well, how long can I run on certain chemicals? And it really depends on the mix that you use, the type of chemical, and how much of the ink you get off before you actually run it through. You can factor on probably 2 to 3 months for having to change out the chemicals in there. You can also try and strain it, reuse it to get out some of the major buildup in there, and because it's usually still effective, but you'll have to play with it based on what you're using and the volume that you're using in there. So I've got a little bucket here that we can just pour it in so you can see it on the video. Just lift it off, take it from the bottom. All you're going to do is just simply dump it out, and then based on the chemical that you're using, you have to dispose of it, of course, according to your local ordinances, and make sure that you're putting it in the proper place and not just pouring it down the drain if it's some toxic stuff. So basically, if you've got some additional sludge, which we have in a little clip on the video, you can just spray that out with the hose, get rid of that, and you're off and running. There isn't a whole lot of maintenance on the brushes itself. The chemicals continue to run down through there, so they will continually break down the ink that gets into the brushes there at all. They're constantly wet, so there's not a lot of stickiness or buildup in there. As far as the gears and wear or anything like that, there's very little maintenance whatsoever to do on there. There is some screws on the back. If you ever got sloppiness or play in the system, basically just make sure that these bolts are tightened on the end, and that is what keeps everything together. All the bearings and everything aligned together and nice and tight. You want those nice and tight so that there's no play at all. But other than that, you want to clean it up real nice, some WD-40 or some kind of oil like that. You can wipe over it and keep it nice and clean on there, and just keep it running. It should work great for many years. The other thing that I wanted to show you real quick is an option. We have this power adapter for all you people that wanted the motor on there, and we were kind of dreaming of that too. But a real quick and easy and a much cheaper way of doing it is having this little power adapter. It's totally optional. It'll come to you. What I'm going to do is I'll take this off. You'll take off these 2 screws. It's a 532 Allen wrench. And we're going to put this little adapter on here. And basically, all you're going to do is use a 3/8 square drive and put it on your drill. So I'll do that right now. And back this off. I'll just tighten those up on there like that. Then you can switch over your drill real quick. And we recommend that you don't run this over 60 RPM. So if you're wondering if you're not real familiar with that, basically one revolution on the brushes per second. So it's not a real quick. You will definitely want to turn your drill down on the lowest setting. And then with a variable speed drill, you can simply just use your drill and run through a squeegee, and it basically frees up the hand that you would have been using with the handle like that and run it through. So it makes it real quick and easy to be able to do that. Obviously, like I said, just make sure you watch your speed so you're not flicking everywhere, but it's a great little piece that you can put on there to make it much more automated if somebody's complaining about having to crank it too much. Additional optional accessories that we talked about earlier in the video here were the different types of lids. So a great lid to have because of evaporation and just the smell of some of the chemicals that are out there is just the enclosure lid. So that's an option. It sits right on there. As you can see, it closes off the ends and they actually overlap inside so that you can actually close this off If I have the handle on there, you can just rotate it. You can actually flick that around and really clean those brushes as well. And you're not going to have any chemicals coming out the ends or the top. It just seals it right up. It's a great lid to have. That's one option. We also make, like I showed you before, this one's for the M&R style. Real quick clamping system. You can slide it on there, lock it into place. That's a great addition if you're got some auto presses that need quick cleaning like that. You can switch it over. That way you're not getting your hands down in there when you're cleaning those. It does a variety of sizes. It's fully adjustable. Another one that we've made up that's really nice is very, very similar setup. This is the Shur-Loc brand press, and it just locks into the ends there. It's a little bit different configuration. Real nice and solid way of fastening your squeegees. And another one that we just recently did is the MHM style squeegee. And basically this is a different setup, so it utilizes that center pin that's just like on your presses there. So it's a spring pin basically. It just gets locked right in there. You just slide it over, and once you get it close, it just springs right into that hole. So it's a nice solid configuration for running through your MHM style squeegees. Some other people have wondered about the drip pans that were in one of the other videos. These are great and real inexpensive to put on the ends. As you run the squeegees out, you're going to get little drips. You can also just lay a sponge down there or put it in there as well, just to soak up any chemicals that would be going down. But these are actually just mud pans for drywall that you can pick up at any hardware store for about $5. So these are a great little tool. If you have any other questions, or we'd love to hear any feedback, any comments on things, you can visit us at Shur-Loc.com. Contact us that way. Also, we have other videos and information about purchasing. So thank you very much for watching.